All right. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I think a good number of you may have heard or watch or listen to comedy hype here on YouTube. And Pierre has his own kind of spin-off talk show, Pierre's Panic Room, where he talks to actors and comedians. And Carlos Miller, Wildin' Out 85 South Show, he was on there recently and he made some statements in regards to, you know, at some point the 85 South Show could be sold. And a lot of people chimed in, some were thinking like, oh, come on, what is this? It's black owned. It was built by black people. Why do black people always, sell out, or, sell to non-black people in order to make a quick buck? Like the importance of black owned businesses. And this was why black people don't own anything, because he was quoting, what Jay-Z was saying in regards to owning 100% of nothing is still nothing. That's why, people, once they reach a certain level of success and they get notoriety, bigger players come into the situation like, hey, let me buy your company for like $10 million or something like that. And then they sell it. And then people are quick to call out, oh, sell out. And it's like, this is what is crippling the black community and, this, that, and the third. So I wanted to do this video to kind of, give my thoughts and to get your thoughts as well in the comment section. And this isn't about, debating, but I just wanted to have an open discussion. And, from time to time, I do bring up these kind of subjects here on the channel just to kind of mix it up, because it is a interesting topic to discuss with other people, especially black people. Now, when it comes to business, the bottom line is money. Let's just be honest about that. I remember hearing in a video, I think it was like a Family Matters or something. They were like talking about how when it comes to making television shows or movies or businesses, it's about making money in the now, supply and demand, give the people what they want. And if somewhere down the line you created a pop culture icon or, a symbol for a certain group of people, then hey, let history tell the tale. But for now, you're doing something to hopefully make money off of it. And I think it really just gets on my nerves when, especially online, the loudest voices, when there are black people who call out other black people for being sellouts. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, how many of the same black people who call out other black people for being sellouts, or, oh, you just giving to you're taking money out of black people's pockets and giving it to, the white man. How many of them have been in situations where they've created something and they've been offered an ungodly amount of money to sell it? Or how many of them have, or how many of them, if they were in the same situation, like let's say they had a successful, like salon or restaurant or podcast, and a white organization came through and offered them a buttload of money or a truckload of money, would they say no? Or would they be like, hey, shoot, I ain't turning nothing down with my collar? So it just irks me when people, I don't even know if irks is still a word, but it's the first thing that came to my mind. I just think about it. It's like not everything needs to be bolted down to, what you're doing is hurting the culture. It's kind of like, what was it recently, a couple months ago or weeks ago? What was it? This one, I think a former athlete who is now a coach at an HBCU. And he decided to go to another organization or another university, a non-black or non-HBCU, because they offered him a lot more money. And I'm not mad. And all these people, oh, he sell out, like, you should be here with the black. But who are you to tell this person, who are you to try to shame somebody because they were bettering themselves? Isn't that the whole goal of life, to work hard, either create a business or get into a job and, move up the corporate ladder? It's kind of like, when musicians or comedians and whatnot, they start off in like the chitlin circuit. They have black audiences, but once they cross over, mainly to like white audiences and whatnot, that's when they get more opportunities. That's when they make more money. Sure, their material and their product might not cater to the black audiences like it used to, But at the same time, I'm not knocking a person for their success. And I mean, you could call them sellout all day and night, but if you weren't the ones to build a platform or build a company, who are you to complain when they level up? I mean, I think it was like a 40-minute video that Comedy Hype did where last night where some of the panelists discussed the interview that Karlous had with Pierre, and some great points were made. I mean, more often than not, people miss the opportunity. I mean, sure, some people hold out. It's like, oh yeah, well, this person offered me like, $500,000, but I think I would hold. I think I'm going to hold for now. Like I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And, they keep doing what they're doing, but the business doesn't expand like they thought. And somewhere down the road, they end up losing the company because they're struggling to keep their heads above water, or they're so down bad that they have to sell their company because it would be more beneficial, but they sell it for a fraction of what they were offered for it. I mean, think of it this way. It reminds me of The Best Man, the final chapters, when Quentin wanted to sell the family business because the pandemic came through and just ruined them. Because he had the expansion project of opening different, hotel properties across the globe, like in Paris and whatnot. But then the pandemic hit the following, year, only a few months later, and the company kind of went belly up. And I think he even said, like, we have to work twice as hard now to even have half of what we originally had before my expansion plans. So, that's what the white company was doing that wanted to buy him out. It's like, hey, we can offer you this much money, which was apparently a lot of money. I think he even said, they offered so much money that my daughter's grandkids could be good. And his dad was like, it's a black owned company. We started this from the ground up and you want to sell it? And it was like, well, dang, I get the importance of black owned company for the culture. But, given how bad the company is now, I mean, hey, selling it ain't a bad move. Sometimes I remember my sister was watching Roots in her room. I was just walking by and I just watched like 5 minutes of it. And I think, look, I don't know the characters' names, but it was basically the dad giving the son a hard time. I think he was going to like go off in like the military armed forces in a certain, commander position, as opposed to like being a doctor or something. And, he just went off, but thankfully the son stood up for himself like, Dad, I can't be what you want me to be. It's like, don't put the entire pressure of all our ancestors on my back. I can't carry them all. I'm just trying to make it through my life. I have a wife, I have a kid. I'm trying to make a living. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to be all I can be in terms of being a symbol for black people. And that's the thing people have to understand. Again, black business is important. Yes, not as much money goes through the hands of black people from like a black person to a black business owner as it is the black man or people giving their money to the white man. Look, we're just trying to live, that's it. It's like if, let's say you all know my channel, Tyler Perry, I don't want to say affiliated because I don't work for these people, but it's Tyler Perry focused. I'm a black man giving my thoughts on a, black creator. Let's say if a white person said, hey, let me offer you such and such to buy your channel, or instead of Tyler Perry, we'll pay you this much money to talk about, these white shows. I would probably talk about the white shows because, hey, money is money. You build something up, and if something happens to the point of you getting recognized and somebody's offering to buy you out, then you do it. It's business. It's business. And it goes back to the point that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. How many of the same people who are quick to call out black people for being sellouts, how many of them have had the opportunity to sell something that they've built? If you haven't put the work in, you really shouldn't have a say in what the people behind the scenes do. Now, it's I can get some sense of potential entitlement, like, hey, you wouldn't be where you were if it wasn't for us, buying your tickets and whatnot. While true, well, nobody forced you to do it, And that's how it goes. So let me know. Do you think Karlous Miller was, speaking facts? How do you feel about him quoting Jay-Z? And I get it. I mean, if you have the chance to make a incredible windfall, hey, do it. Do it. I mean, that's just my 2 cents. So let me know yours.